Welcome to this explainer. It's wild, but the vast majority of digital transformations completely crash and burn. And it's not because of bad tech, it's actually because of a massive mismatch in talent. Today, we're going to break down exactly why organizations that build true talent, rather than just throwing money at expensive technology, are the ones that are absolutely going to lead tomorrow's economy. We'll be diving into some fascinating insights from ExpertOnHire that completely flip how businesses grow and scale in the modern world. So if you've ever felt like your company is adopting all the right tools, paying for the absolute best software, but somehow you're still falling behind your competitors, you are in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's just jump right in. I want you to ask yourself the single most critical question for any modern business leader, hiring manager, or startup founder looking at their strategy today. What is your ultimate competitive advantage? Seriously, take a second and really think about it. In an era where everything seems to be moving at lightning speed, what is the one single thing keeping you ahead of the pack? For the longest time, we treated capital, advanced technology, and a massive market presence as our ultimate moats. We thought, hey, if we have the biggest servers or the most expensive enterprise licenses, we're perfectly safe, right? Well, think about today. Your entire infrastructure can literally be deployed in minutes on the cloud. Software is basically just licensed out of a box. Algorithms, they can be copied. These are essentially just commodities now. Everyone has access to the exact same stuff. The true differentiator today is human capability. It's the brains driving the machine. This is the raw, unfiltered ability to innovate, solve incredibly complex problems under pressure, execute flawlessly, and continuously improve. It comes entirely from people, and it is the absolute only asset your competitors simply cannot copy overnight. Section 1. The new competitive advantage. Look, we're all operating in this environment of unrelenting change. It's like this massive, overwhelming wave of AI and cloud tech that's rapidly reshaping entire industries from the ground up. Markets are evolving by the minute, and customer expectations, they're only going up. When you're facing a technological wave this massive, you really only have two choices. You can either get crushed by it, or you can learn to surf it. Your ability to ride that wave, to stay balanced, and keep moving forward depends entirely on your team's capability to learn, innovate, and execute. Adaptability isn't just some corporate buzzword anymore. It is literally your only safety net in a market that flat out refuses to stand still. Moving on to Section 2, defining organizational capability.
So, what do we actually mean by that? Well, true capability is far more than just having some isolated technical knowledge siloed away somewhere. It's your organization's collective ability to take a raw idea and actually turn it into a real, tangible, profitable result. It's not just having someone on your payroll who happens to know Python, right? It's about translating that code into a winning product that customers actually want to use. Technology just gives you the tools, the paint, and the brushes. It's your organizational capability that determines how effectively those tools are used to create the masterpiece. Without that translation from idea to execution, all the technical knowledge in the world is basically useless.
If you look at high-capability organizations in the real world, they all share a very distinct set of traits. They pair deep, foundational technical expertise with incredibly creative, out-of-the-box problem solving. When they hit a wall, they don't just stop and give up, they innovate a way right around it. They foster an environment of continuous learning and keep a relentless focus on customer-centric thinking. Plus, they don't get bogged down in endless red tape. They act fast. They rely on rapid decision-making to seize opportunities before anyone else even notices them. These are the core traits that empower businesses to not just survive, but to truly thrive and sustain incredible growth amidst absolute chaos. That brings us to Section 3, capability versus credentials. Think about the traditional hiring process that almost every single company uses today. We sift through giant mountains of degrees, certifications, perfectly formatted resumes. And sure, those things look fantastic on paper, but they are notoriously bad at predicting actual, real-world business performance. What a candidate did in a college classroom 5 years ago rarely translates directly to the modern trenches of your business. Real value is created on the ground. It's created by solving complex, messy problems, building scalable systems under insanely tight deadlines, and learning entirely new technologies on the fly. We have got to fundamentally stop hiring for what looks good on paper and start hiring for what a person can actually accomplish when the pressure is on. All right, Section 4, the cost of ignoring capability. Here's the harsh reality. When you hire strictly for those traditional credentials, you spark a really dangerous, cascading spiral of failures within your business. It almost always starts super small, maybe a minor project delay here or a frustrating little bug in your software there. You might even think, oh, it's just a temporary hiccup. But those immediate, seemingly manageable pains quickly snowball. Over the long term, those small delays translate into crushing technical debt. Your innovation grinds to a complete halt because your team is constantly putting out fires, right? And that leads to massive employee burnout, skyrocketing turnover, and eventually the total loss of your competitive edge. You end up spending way more time managing crises than actually building your business. The biggest takeaway here is absolutely crucial. A failing server, a delayed launch, or a broken product, that is rarely a technology problem. It is almost always a people problem. You can go out today and buy the most expensive, state-of-the-art enterprise software on the market, but if you lack the collective strength and underlying capability to actually support it, that entire system will crack under the pressure. The challenges that keep founders and executives up at night are directly born from a lack of organizational capability. Getting the right minds in the room from day one is literally the only way to avoid these operational nightmares. Let's look at Section 5, the ExpertOnHire solution.
So how do we fix this? Well, ExpertOnHire completely flips this broken hiring paradigm on its head to focus purely on practical skill validation and massive risk reduction. Their capability-first approach operates like this finely tuned funnel designed to uncover true talent. It starts at the very top with AI-assisted talent matching to quickly cut through all the noise and identify real potential. Then, it uses highly vetted, verified technical experts to conduct peer-to-peer reviews of the candidates. After that comes intense, portfolio-based evaluations and highly structured technical assessments to prove they can actually do the work. By the end of this rigorous process, you aren't just hiring an impressive job title. You are securing a proven innovator who has shown they can create measurable business value. Which leads perfectly into Section 6, Building for the Future.
So, how exactly does this capability-first mindset build a long-term roadmap for your business? Think of it like a chain reaction. Making that single, strategic, technical hire at step 1 serves as your core engine. That right hire immediately helps build a high-performing team around them. In turn, that rock-star team drives continuous, relentless innovation in your products and services. That innovation ensures your customers succeed and stay fiercely loyal to your brand, which naturally and organically scales your business growth. And the final destination of this entire journey? A truly sustainable competitive advantage. Every single stage of this pipeline relies completely on people who possess the capability to adapt and conquer problems.
I'm going to leave you with this final, really powerful thought from ExpertOnHire that should absolutely challenge how you approach building your teams for tomorrow's economy. Technology may power modern business, but capability is what keeps businesses ahead. The organizations that lead tomorrow will not be the ones with the biggest server budgets or the flashiest software. They are going to be the ones that build exceptional, highly adaptable human capability. So ask yourself today, is your hiring process just building a collection of credentials, or is it building the capability that will actually secure your future? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep adapting, and we'll see you next time.